What's going on, everyone? So the Luka trade happened February 2nd, right? Time this video is uploaded, it is February 18th. So you're talking almost 2 weeks, talking 16 days, right? To a little over 2 weeks, not quite 3 weeks. And Dallas is still dragging this man through the mud. We're still getting reports regularly about how they weren't honest about his absence in November and how they really can you get over it? Again, it's one thing to trade your superstar, right? It's one thing to give an explanation as to why, right? Hey, we had our concerns about his long-term growth. He's one of the best stars in the league, but, we had our concerns. We thought this was best for organization, whatever, right? Done, you move on, right? Easy peasy. But to keep dragging this man over and over and over, and it's like every day there's a new report about Dallas feeling this or Dallas said that or what. It is crazy at this point. We're going to be a year, 5 years into this, and people are still going to be like, well, Luka it is insane. First off, this is just giving Luka more whiteboard material, right? I cannot wait to see Luka next season, right? I want to see him just grind away, especially under LeBron's wing. I'm pumped to see how Luka's going to look in a year, right? He's going to come in like Majin Buu after the hyperbolic time chamber, right? He's just going to be like Skitty Boo. Hopefully he doesn't hibernate, right? But also, you have a bunch of executives, right? Reports came out that executives are still upset that, they didn't have an opportunity to get Luka. What would you have traded? It's funny, the report said, a bunch of execs believe that they could have beaten the Lakers package. You couldn't have. You know how I know you couldn't have? Because the Dallas Mavericks didn't want to tank. They didn't want to rebuild, right? That's the thing that none of these executives seem to understand, right? None of these executives seem to grasp the idea that Dallas, they wanted Anthony Davis so they could still remain competitive. What team is trading their superstar for Luka? No, you're trading your superstar to pair, or you're trading for Luka to pair with your superstar. You're not trading, Minnesota isn't trading Anthony Edwards to go get Luka. They're trying to pair Luka with Anthony Edwards, right? Which one of these teams that are crying right now, I would love for these teams to explain the package that they would give up for Luka. Right? Because all these teams are like, oh man, we would have given an absolute haul for Luka. They don't want a haul. They want us to be competitive. What team has a guy that they would trade that is as good as Anthony Davis? Right? That's the thing that really gets lost in translation here is people are acting like Anthony Davis was this bum, was this scrub that they traded for. Anthony Davis is top 10 player in the league. Right? What team is trading how many teams have a top 10 player for one? They can't. Only 10 teams can have that. And Lakers have 2 of them, right? Anthony Davis and LeBron, right? So really it's 9 teams. And then on top of that, how many of those teams are actually trading that guy for Luka? Right? None of them. None of them are. That's the answer. You want the answer solved? That's the answer. None of them are trading for him. Right? Because again, they would want to pair. Dallas didn't want 15 first and all that stuff. Lakers had more picks and stuff that they could have given up. They didn't have to give it up because it's not what Dallas wanted. If Dallas wanted a bunch of firsts and a bunch of picks and wanted to hit the reset button and trade Luka and trade Kyrie and do all that stuff, guess what Dallas probably would have done? They probably would have put Luka on the open market. But that's not what they wanted. They knew the guy that they wanted to get, and that was Anthony Davis. And I don't understand why that's such a hard concept for all these executives. And, aren't you supposed to understand how this works? How the trades work? Aren't you supposed to could you have beaten the Lakers package? No! The correct answer is no. Right? Unless you're trading SGA, you're not getting Luka. You're not beating the Lakers package. Because again, teams don't have a guy like Anthony Davis that they can trade, and Luka still could be on a contending team and keep Luka happy. Also, are you really trading that? Even if a team like Minnesota was willing to trade Ant-Man for Luka, right? They're not a contender still. Right? They're still probably not doing much. You still like, so how long until Luka's like, all right, get me out of here? At least on the Lakers, Luka's probably staying, right? I mean, I say probably, I think he is staying, but the reason I say probably is because you never really know. There is a version where he leaves. I just think it's very unlikely. But until he's on a long-term contract with the Lakers, there is that potential possibility. But it's the same thing with like LeBron. Every people are like, oh, LeBron's gonna leave. This is the year LeBron's gonna leave. LeBron's gone. Like, and every year he sticks around, right? Like, you don't leave the Lakers, right? The players don't really leave the Lakers, right? And usually when they do, they regret it, right? Dwight Howard left the Lakers and immediately regretted it, right? So much so he came back like 3 other times, right? So again, it's just let it go, right? We're done. We've moved on, right? It's one thing if you want to talk about Luka and LeBron and you want to talk about Luka and, if you want to express concerns and, whatever, right? If you want to kind of drum up like, oh, can Luka and LeBron fit? No, so sure, fine, okay, right? Understandable. But how long are you going to keep dragging this man through the mud? Dude, the guy's over it. The guy's got a new, hotter girlfriend, living his best life, living in mansions, and the scorn ex who is just living in poverty right now is just like throwing shade. And Luka's just over here just like, hey, it's all good. Let him talk, right? One of us is living the high life. The other one is, struggling, right? Like that's what this is, right? Dallas is coming off as somebody that has immediate remorse. Why do you keep talking about? Why do you keep bringing up your ex? Move on, right? She left you. Get over it. You are the reason, right? She didn't want to leave you. She wanted to stay with you, right? Was ready to live forever, right? Happily married, and you decided, nah, we don't want that. We're worried about the long term. We're worried about how she's gonna age, right? Like that's your fault. You're silly. Move on. It's over, right? Luka's now got LeBron. He's good. He doesn't need you, right? But in all seriousness, it's just it blows my mind that we're still, again, it's been 2, almost 3 weeks, and we're still hearing regularly about Luka and this and that, and like, oh, Dallas, they still feel like he's this and it's just like, okay, we get it. We get it. You think Luka is the worst player in NBA history. You think Luka is the most fake star ever, right? You think Luka's going to break down in a week, right? Okay, we get it. Okay, well, let's find out, right? Why don't we stop talking about it and let's find out, right? It's like they're purposely trying to just like motivate Luka and prove themselves wrong. If anything, they should have just shut up and let play. Like if they were right, there's a very real chance that they were correct. Now there's not. Now I think, because again, you just basically took a competitor and just dragged this man through the mud for weeks, literally weeks. Any chance of you being correct is probably gone now. Where if they would have just traded him and just shut up about it and just were like, hey, this is just the direction we wanted to go, and kind of gave the PC answer, there's a chance that they may have been proven right. Right? And we look back and go, hey, you know what? Dallas wasn't wrong, right? Like, it still shouldn't have made the trade, but, hey, maybe they were right. Right? Like, but now you can all but guarantee that this is not going to happen. This is not going to go well for them. But the only people that should still be crying are Dallas fans. And that is completely understandable and justifiable. It'd be like, if Lakers traded Kobe, when he was 25, we'd all be furious. We'd all still be, just expressing our frustrations and losing our minds, right? Like, it's understandable. It's justifiable, right? But this whole everything, it's ridiculous at this point, right? Like, if you're not a Dallas Maverick fan, you should just stop, complaining and crying about it. Right? Oh, we could have given a better package. No, you couldn't have. You wouldn't have given a better package than what the Lakers gave, because they didn't want to rebuild. If they wanted to rebuild, yes, you could have given a better package. But guess what? Again, they didn't want to rebuild. So life sucks. Move on. It sucks. Too bad. Wah. Cry about it. Right? Like, it's what it is. It's ridiculous at this point. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Do you think like, yeah, it's enough. Enough's enough. Like, quit crying. But Anyway, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.